Hello, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about your business basics and specifically budgets and essentials. So why are we even talking about this? Because sometimes when you're first getting started in business, you think, I don't even have a budget. I'm not spending money on my business. But we're going to dig into why it's important to do some planning. So let me get back into presentation mode. Let me just check the comments. Okay, hopefully we're all on the same page now. All right, so let's jump in. Practice makes perfect for me. So what we're going to talk about today, basically budget basics for your business and why that's so important to start to have the proactive, I guess, instead of reactive as far as how you're running your business. And we're going to talk about planning your runway, what that means, the critical 3, and then the must-have tools. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. And again, I get it, especially when people are just new in their business and they're bootstrapping, maybe they're using all free tools. You still need to think about your business budget so that you can think like a CEO and make those good decisions. Okay. All right. So just let me know in the comments. Hopefully everything's going good here. So my first question is, do you have a business budget? So most people have some kind of a budget for their home. So my question is for you, do you have a business budget? It's so important to know the numbers so that you can plan your growth and so that it will help keep you, it will help identify those must-haves versus the wants. Because if you're not proactive and you're figuring out where you want to go, it's so easy to start spending money on things that's not critical for the business, especially when you're first starting out. And when you're first starting out, you might be kind of in a panic mode. You're trying this, trying that, doing everything to get your business to grow, and you might be spending money on the wrong things. Okay, so that's why we're going to really dig in here. And I use the expression, the CEO mindset. And what I mean by that is think like a CEO, do that long range planning, make those decisions ahead of time so you're not reacting. And just recognize if you have a business, it's going to cost you money to run your business. Of course, ideally, you'll start making money that you can put back into your business, but just know that you have to have that foundation to stay afloat. So a good starting point is that spreadsheet that I've shared. If you don't have a copy of the spreadsheet, reach out and let me know. In there, that spreadsheet is how I track my my daily and monthly expenses, but it also gives you kind of a starting point of some of the things that you would add into your business. Now, just like in a corporation, you know how they have different departments, the marketing department, the purchasing department, all of that. Well, in a corporation, they have different pools of money, and that money goes towards what it's allotted for. So I want you in your business to think about the same thing. I want you to create basically different categories for your budget. And I've created these categories into 3 basic categories. And the first one is your day-to-day operations. Okay. I want you to stop and think for a minute. Most of us are working out of a home office, but you still have rent, so to speak. You have lights, you have internet. If you do your taxes and you've got a designated space in your, for your office, you can write off a little bit of that. All of that is your like brick and mortar type expenses. You also have things like paying that internet bill. You might even have things like your office supplies, the paper for your printer, all of that kind of stuff, even things like postage. So as you're creating your budget, think about what are the operational types of expenses in your budget. And again, you might be thinking, well, we've had internet forever, we still pay for that. Yes, but I want you to start thinking of it as a business expense, because without the internet, you couldn't run your business. All right. Then the second category, and then just give me in the comments, I make sure that my sound is still coming through okay. You can just say, yep, you can hear me. Let me know if you're still watching live. So the second category is what I call the essentials. And these are the tools that you need to run your business. The number one tool that you need is a marketing platform. And again, when you're first starting out, you might be bootstrapping and using something free like MailerLite. So MailerLite or MailChimp, all of those kinds of things. So it's part of a marketing platform. But let me tell you, if you stay in business any length of time, you're going to quickly outgrow your marketing platform. And of all of the areas to invest money, the most important place is a good marketing program. And for those of you that know me, the ones that I really support, that I think that there's nothing better, is KARTRA. Another one that I'm doing some testing on is Funnel Gorgeous. Both of those marketing programs cost about $99 a month. And again, initially you might kind of hesitate because you think, well, I'm not making any money. But again, just like a CEO in business, you need the right tools to grow your business. And so anything that falls under this marketing platform category, that's the, it's like the lifeblood of your business. You can't do anything without that. And then another area that I call the essentials are, you'll have different creative tools. So who of us doesn't love Canva? Let me know in the comments if you use Canva. I used the free version of Canva for a long time, and then I got to the point that I outgrew that. The paid version, it just gives you a lot more options to the images and different elements you can have in there, folders, all of that kind of stuff. So I have the paid version now of Canva, and I think it's like $12 or $14. Okay. Some other creative tools that you might use, depending on your business, you might have the professional version of Adobe. You might have some kind of a like contract service or signing service. And you might start paying for some online storage, especially if you're doing videos. You need a place to keep all of that. So you might upgrade your Google account, your cloud storage, or Dropbox, OneDrive, anything like that. Okay. And then the last category I call the software and templates. So there's a lot of software in a business that you might not think about initially. So I'm using a virus protection software called AVG. They have a free version that's really good. But then again, you might get to the point that you'll want to upgrade that. Templates, there's a lot of templates out there that either you can purchase like one time or maybe membership. So based on your business, you may subscribe to some of those things. And then another critical piece of the software is a professional email service. I'm sorry, you got to get rid of the Gmail, Debbie@gmail.com just is not professional. A lot of email providers out there. If you need help with that, let me know. And very inexpensive, $3, $6 a month, but it's essential to your business, right? And then the last category is what I call the growth category. So all of us, if we truly want to grow in our business, we will end up hiring a coach, and we might hire a coach at different stages of our business. Because any professional out there, you know that you look at the professional athletes, all of those people, they always have a coach to help them reach the next level. Another area of growth are all of the trainings that you might want to purchase or take part in, even if it's the little mini training, like the $29 training packages. The whole idea is I want you to think about these different budget categories and then come up with a plan. So you might decide that you need help with copywriting. So you'll start looking for some copywriting courses, okay? And then, of course, in the growth category, you'll probably get to the point where you'll start investing some money in actual ad spend. So creating some Facebook ads or Instagram ads, things like that. And then the last thing I have on here is VA support. And it needs to be moved over to the day-to-day, but I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Okay. All right, so haven't seen any comments, so let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Love to know your thoughts so far. And then as you're building your budget, what I suggest is to create some goals so that you know where you're aiming for. So with hardware, plan in advance and have a reason. So in other words, again, based on your budget, you don't want to just run out and buy the latest iPhone because it's out there, but is there a reason that you need that iPhone? Or your computer, for instance. So I have a MacBook Pro, and quite honestly, I've outgrown it because I have about 50 tabs open all the time. And my poor little processor just can't keep up. So it's in my budget. I'm going to have to get a new computer. The same thing with software. As you'll know when you start to outgrow your tools. So just like I was saying, if you started out using a free version of some kind of a marketing program, when all of a sudden it's taking you a lot longer, or it's just not doing what you need it to do, maybe the automation isn't there, you'll know that it's time to start outgrowing, or that you're outgrowing your tools. So what I suggest for you is to do some, to prorate your planning in the sense of, or proactive, look ahead and think, well, I'm using this free version, but I know I'm going to use Canva a lot. So probably 3 months from now, I'm going to upgrade. So the whole idea when you have this budget is it's putting you in control and you're not reactive. And then with training, my suggestion for training is come up with a want list and then put a cap on either a certain dollar amount or certain percentage, because it's easy to start spending money, $29 here, $49 there, and before you know it, at the end of the year, you realize it's like, oh my goodness, how did I spend so much money on training? And did I even do all of that training? So if you look at your budget and use that as a planning guide, so again, I use the example of like copywriting. So let's say that you realize you need to get some more training, or your skills need to be heightened for copy. You could put that down for next quarter's budget request. You're going to go to the CEO yourself and say, I really think I need this. And just like in corporate, you'll shop around and get the best thing. All right. I hope that's making sense to you. So let me know if it is. So now let's talk about the financial runway. What do I mean by this? So it's a term that's used in the business industry, and basically based on your monthly expenses, how many months can your business run without any new income? So again, starting out, if you're bootstrapping, I get it. You're trying to, be as lean as possible. And I'm all about that. You still should know what your monthly expenses are. You've had probably a cell phone, you've had internet connectivity all along, but I want you to put those in your business budget, so that if I walked up to you tomorrow and said, how much have you allotted every month in your business budget? you would have a number to tell me. You would say, right now, my business expenses are running $250 a month. In the future, maybe it'll be $500 a month or whatever it is. You need to know what your monthly expenses are. And then the runway is, if you didn't make any more money, how many months could you pay your business expenses? Because again, the CEO of the business is proactive and knows exactly where they're going, knows where they're standing at a financial point. Okay. And I have to tell you that if you don't do this planning, what happens is at the end of the year, when you do your taxes and, you figure out your expenses, figure out the income, all that kind of stuff, and you look and you think, oh, I actually made $20,000 profit after I paid my expenses, but what happened to that money? So without having this budget in place, it's very easy just to be spending this money and then you don't know where it goes. Likewise, it's good to take this money and invest it back into your business, but you should also come up with a plan to be paying yourself. Pay yourself first. I talked about that on a Facebook Live, I think on my profile page, right? Because the whole idea is, as CEO, you want to be in control. Now, let me talk about, so we've talked about the setting up your budget. Now, let me just talk about the must-haves. What do I use and what do I consider as the must-haves in your business? So Canva, hands down. And I used the free version for a long time, but then quickly moved to the paid. So if you're, we have to create images, graphics, downloads, all that kind of stuff. You're going to need Canva. All right. Just know in the back of your mind, if you don't have the paid version, you'll be moving towards that and you'll be glad you did. Of all of the applications, that's like number one on my list. And then the marketing platform, again, initially it might seem or it might feel expensive, but it is the lifeblood of your business. So again, KARTRA or Funnel Gorgeous runs you about $99 a month. If you're at the point of thinking to actually get into a program like that, reach out to me. I'll do a free little consultation and just give you my opinion as far as which platform I think would work the best for you. And then the email, as I said, forget the free. If you're in business, look and act professional and get a professional domain email. Again, if you're having trouble figuring all that out, reach out and I'll be happy to help you. And then another software application that I use all the time is Loom, not Zoom, but Loom. I do most of my recordings with this, and it's the best that I found. It's easy to use. It gives you that little round bubble that you can have your picture in. I use recordings all the time, so it's a must-have. And my Loom is $12.99. I don't think they have a free version anymore, but again, if you're going to be doing recordings, you're going to have to invest in it sooner or later. And then Zoom, of course, if you're doing any kind of face-to-face meetings with people or even running workshops, Zoom, the free version, actually will take you for a long time. Unless you're looking at needing more than 40 minutes with more than 3 people. At that point, then you would need to upgrade. And I think the professional version of Zoom is $14.99. That's what I have right now. Zoom also has a webinar application that I think it's like $39 a month. And there's some other ones out there too. So if you're at the point of creating webinars and you need some advice on which one, reach out and I can tell you that too. Then the cloud storage, I went for a long time without upgrading. I finally just bit the bullet and upgraded my Google. When I work with my clients, I always save the recordings for them, and any kind of video recording just eats up your hard drive space. Plus, a lot of times if you're in a business where you're coaching people or you're creating those videos, you need some kind of a cloud solution for that. So, and I think Google has a maybe a yearly, I can't even remember what it is. It's about $10 a month if you decided you wanted something like that. All right. And then more on the must-haves templates. So I do belong to a Canva template service. She, a few months ago, switched over to a monthly membership. I was grandfathered in, so I got all of hers, but there's a lot of them out there. And if you want recommendations, when you get to the point that you're spending a lot of time creating all of your digital assets, like these ebooks and giveaways and checklists and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, I love playing around with it, but time is money. So I'm not getting paid anything to create these things. So by using templates, it really shortens the curve. And quite honestly, a lot of these places do a way better job than I do. So I've invested in some of these template services. The same way with image services. Now, this is something you might not need for a long time. Again, I stumbled onto a really great image resource. She does absolutely stunning photos, and it's different than, I think a lot of people use Starr, Jasmine Starr. It's different than her service. Again, you probably don't need something like that for a long time, but down the road, depending on how your business grows. And then the last thing I have here is VA support. My advice to you is get help early. And even if it's something like 5 hours a month, or even if it is just a one-time project, I have a tremendous, wonderful VA agency that I work with. So if you're at the point that you need a little extra, very affordable, super affordable for people living in the United States, reach out to me and I can share that resource with you. Again, when you look at your genius zone and look at what you should be doing, what are those money-making activities? Should you be spending 8 hours creating YouTube thumbnail graphic images? Or should you be spending all those hours creating the ebook when somebody else could do it maybe in an hour? So my advice is, and again, even if you just do a little project first, don't be afraid to reach out. Sometimes people think, oh, I have to hire somebody for 20 hours a week or something. Not at all. You can hire and just get little projects done. So let's just do a quick recap of what we've talked about. The first thing is take control. So in other words, map out your business budget, get on top of your financial management, figure out where the money's going to go, because we're in business to make money. Figure out where that money's going to go, and then know your runway. How long can you run in your business without any additional income, and can you lengthen that runway? Because once your runway is longer, more than 1 month, for instance, it just takes the pressure off. You don't have that panicky feeling of, how am I going to pay for all of these bills that I have, because you've built that runway. And then the next thing is, we talked about, decide on the categories. So as you're working up your business budget, again, I just talked about your day-to-day operations, your essentials, and then growth. So just do some brainstorming and come up with what you want to do, future growth, different places that you want to spend some revenue on or spend some money on in the future. And then do an audit. It's so important to figure out what your current expenses are, what money's going out, what tools do you have? A lot of times when I do a one-on-one intensive with someone, they're spending $200-300 a month on tools that they're not even using. And then when I help them switch over to, let's say, KARTRA, for instance, their expenses go down instead of going up. So it's really important to do an audit, depending on where you're at in your business, and see if there's a way that you can trim some of those expenses. So I hope today has been helpful for you. So how can I help you? There's a lot of things, a lot of different services that I offer, but the two biggest ones that I think would help you the most, my business strategy session, that's where I do an in-depth marketing plan with you. It's designed specifically to help you basically create your funnel and your lead generation and sales path. So we figure out what it is you're selling and how to get the clients. And then I also do a business audit, and this is where we just jump in and look at what's happening with your business. And I give you the recommendations of what would help you right now in your business, and especially what would help you to streamline it. And of course, I also have one-to-one and some done-for-you services if you just need help getting your funnel built. And if you've noticed in the group, I'm also getting ready to launch another session of the Business Accelerator, and that's where we work together to get the back end of your business built. So thank you for watching and for joining me. I'd love to know in the comments what your biggest takeaway from this session was. And until then, I'll see you next time.